Friendship can be used in manipulation. If the parents are part of the manipulation, or the ones who are doing it, they're actually narcissists, they can use other people to trick their own children. You might think this is a impossible thing to happen because, family is blood. But I caught my mother a couple of times trying to tell people how to trick me. One was my ex-wife when she was my wife and we were visiting, and I was at the doorstep. I went outside for some reason. I don't remember why, maybe to go to the car. And when I came back to the doorstep, my mother was actually talking to my ex-wife, telling her how to manipulate me and how to trick me. And I stood on the doorstep listening, absolutely amazed at what I was hearing. At another time, years later, at a wedding up in Auckland, which I was filming, I ended up on the doorstep again, and my wife's mother, was telling her how to trick me and fool me into believing that my money was my own, but to use it to steal off the family and use it for her own desires and wants. And things like that, and just to fool me into believing that the money was going into good places and stuff like that. And I was absolutely amazed, and I walked in on both cases and had them up about it, and both the mothers were like, oh, well, I'm just helping her out and sort of thing. So mothers do that, and fathers. So in the case of family, if the mother wants to remain in control of one of their children who's an adult now, the mother, if there's any form of mental illness or even pretending mental illness, or which is just by proxy, where the mother actually made the daughter ill through her teens or early years, teens and adult years, the adult child can be so used to being told that they're sick or they're mentally ill for all those years, they actually believe it as an adult, and they continue taking the pills and whatever they're given voluntarily instead of being told they have to take them as an adult. Once that is let out, the mother and father can then go to the friends of the adult child, get them aside privately and talk to them about how they love their child, they want to do the very best for them, and they need the friends' help to help the parents monitor the child's life, all for the better of the child's life. In reality, it's for the better of the adult life, where they can keep tabs on their adult child and control their adult child's life. So the adult child can then all of a sudden have their, all of a sudden, but they'll have their friends gather around them, and it's far easier for the parent to persuade the adult child to do something when all the friends are in favour of it as well. It means it's easier. And the adult child who's needy, who's been in mental illness care, mental health care, and I struggle to say mental health care. And the reason is a lot of the mental health industry I don't support, and I don't see it's being productive in any sense. It just keeps the problem going. So I struggle with it. But anyway, using the word health. So and they friends have become flying monkeys, and they have no idea they are. They believe fully with all their hearts that they're gathering around the person they love and who's been a friend for you through their school years or their family, or that it's a relation, they gather around and want to help and protect that person. Now, in the relation, where it comes to family and that, the parents can be narcissists, and the parents, brothers and sisters, can have no idea that they are, and that they abuse their own children, or they have abused their own children, or that they're trying to control their children. So the parents can actually go to the uncle and the aunties of the grown up child and get them and their children to become flame monkeys. And they all help the parent control the life and report back to the parent what the adult child thinks and what they want to say. And they get into conversations with them and they say, I think my mother's not trustworthy, I think my father's up to something, or my father used to abuse me, or my mother used to abuse me. And the adult ones go, the flying monkeys go back to the parent and tell them everything that they said, and the parent says to them, it's a mental illness, schizophrenia. They remember events that never happened. They imagine things that never happened. I'm sorry you have to hear this sort of thing, but it's all fantasy. And so the flying monkeys believe it's fantasy. What the adult child has no idea is the people that they hold close to their heart are not their friends. If the situation was normal, they would be their friends, but they're like their friends and enemies. Now, because they work for the parent, but the adult child has no idea it's happening. If the parent wants to bring in someone for the adult child to trust, this is a different situation. Then the parents can get the flying monkeys, which is the friends of the adult child. They can get the flying monkeys to approve of this person first. So they could even meet this person without the friend knowing, without the adult child knowing. And when this person comes into the adult child's life, all the friends gather around and show their utter approval because they've been told they need to help their friend. This is a good thing that they do. So they can fully approve, support and back up another narcissist coming into the adult child's life and have no idea that they're doing it and that they're protecting a narcissist whose only desire is to hurt the person they're trying to protect. This is the thing about flying monkeys. They're well intended, they want to do their best for their friend, but they have no idea what they're doing. So, the person who's brought in to manipulate the life of the adult child has been accepted by the adult child through the approval of friends and family and all sorts of people and the parents. So the adult child thinks this person must be amazing. Now, when the manipulator comes into the adult child's life, the manipulator uses friendship to gain friendship. And the way they do this is they do the mimic system where they've already talked to the narcissist parents, like in the case of mine, where my narcissist parents and my mother-in-law were talking to my wife, telling her how to press the buttons, how to trick me, how to use and abuse me and the money the family's supposed to have. Because my mother already knew how to do it, and the mother-in-law had an idea how to abuse me because she was abusing her own husband. She was tricking him, and she basically totally destroyed his life right until the day he died. So my mother knew the buttons to press to use and abuse me and to trick me because my mother was a narcissist and I grew up under that umbrella, that horrific treatment. So the mother, the adult child we're talking about in this example, her her parents told the narcissist all the ways to manipulate and trick her, how difficult she is, and how to press the right buttons. And so the narcissist goes into the story now already completely fueled up on all the education they need to manipulate the adult child. But the adult child, being needy, wanting a friend, is completely unaware of this. And so it's the perfect, what you would say, the perfect sucker. Perfect is the perfect victim for the narcissist. So the adult child accepts the narcissist as a friend because the narcissist, there's this thing where if they're of the same gender or even not of the same gender, where you mimic the person in their mannerisms, verbally, and in the things that they like. So if the adult child likes soccer, then they'll talk about the new person that comes into their life will say, "Hey, I like soccer. Do you like soccer?" Not many people like soccer, but I really like soccer. And the adult victim says, "Oh, yes, I like soccer." And it's like, "Wow, I've got a new friend." And they become friends through this friendship manipulation process where the person is constantly trying to show the victim that they are on the same level. They're basically a twin, basically the same person, and basically have the same likes, dislikes, same ideals, same ideas, same wants, same everything, and the perfect friend. And it's all fake. Then if the friend is, just a narcissist and they want to get them into relationships, the adult child, then they will choose narcissists to do this, and there'll be other people. The friends who are the friends of the adult child, the flying monkeys, who have already fully accepted the narcissist, they will support and back up the narcissist, and everything the narcissist says must be done to help the adult child. So the friends are taken aside on different occasions and are told or rung up or text, a really great person is going out with your friend tonight. He's a real decent guy, an old friend from school, and help her to loosen up and say what a great idea this is. This will be really good for her and for her future, and she'll have a wonderful marriage. And so they go, "Oh, this is wonderful. This really nice guy." So they all get around and they back up the new narcissist into the adult child's life with the approval of the other narcissist and with the approval of the narcissist's parents. So it's all like a magic act to control a person's life. And as you can see in my case with my mother, they have a strong desire to keep controlling your life right through your life. They would just keep doing it. And it's some kind of power boost, egotistical. I can't explain it. I have enough trouble trying to control my own life, with all the things I've got to deal with, bills and people and work and stuff like that, to even consider bothering with other people's lives. My view with my children is I bring my children up. When they leave home as adults, they can have their lives. I don't get into their lives. I don't bother them all the time. I send them texts or ring them every now and then, but I'm not on their case. In the case of manipulation and narcissism, they're constantly on the case of their adult children. They just can't let go. And all the years of manipulating when they were small. And the other point about flying monkeys is the brothers and sisters of the person they want to manipulate. They've already manipulated their family, and they already divide them against each other. Then, if one misbehaves or has issues, they get the other members of the family, brothers and sisters, to become flying monkeys. And if only one parent is a narcissist, they get if it's a mother, then she gets the husband and the brothers and sisters to all become flying monkeys in the attack of the one person who's not behaving. And because they're family and they're always on the case of the person who's misbehaving, or the person who's the victim of the narcissist parent, the adult child who's the victim feels really pressured and only wants to please. Everyone wants to be a accepted child of their parent and of the family members. And people always say his blood is thicker than water and things like that. So they want to please. So when the family comes down, the parents come down on them, the family comes down on them, they buckle up and say, okay, I'll do what you want. And they give in and do what they shouldn't do. You got to remember, when the parents are narcissists, they're cold. They're not nice. They're not loving. They're not sweet. They're not good. And the only person they really want to care about is themselves. So, and if there is another member of the family, like say a sister to a sister, one might be the one that the parent is abusing, and the other sister may be the one that the parent sees as like her. So say it's a mother and it's two sisters. The mother would say, well, this one here has got is dark soul, like me. So therefore, I'm going to take this one under my wing and show her how to trick and manipulate her sister and her father, say. And so the daughter, remember my ex-wife's mother was manipulating the father and her children, her son and daughter. So it gets very complex. These webs, these friendship flying monkey tricky webs become very thick, very complicated, and from the inside it's very hard to tell what's going on. And it's not unless you get in cases like I did with my mother and the in-law, where I ended up on a doorstep in both cases in two completely different places, two completely different times, and I heard them telling my wife how to trick me, how to use me, how to abuse our relationship. And even then, I don't know, probably through arrogance, I suppose, or ego, I might have thought, oh, I can handle that, and it just went worse from there. And I was out of my depth, but I had no idea I was out of my depth. I thought I had a certain amount of control of the family, of my own life, and I thought my ex-wife didn't have the ability to do the things she did, but she did. And it was all a very foolish mistake of mine, thinking that I had some sort of control when I basically had very little. And it was a very hard day, the day I figured all that out. So what I'm saying here is these webs narcissists create with flying monkeys, lying to individuals, telling different stories, is all about dividing people up, using them and controlling them. See, even all the flying monkeys are actually under the narcissist control, but they have no idea they are. They fully believe that they're free to do whatever they like, and they fully believe they're free to help their friend, the adult child. They think they're volunteering to do it, and they're not. They've been seduced into thinking it's the best thing for their adult friend, the adult child. So they think it's the best for that person, so therefore that's why they do it. But in reality, they've been seduced into doing it. If they knew what the narcissist was really like, they'd never do it. But the combined effort or the combined friendship or the combined feeling that the adult child gets um, when all the flying monkeys gather around and are enthusiastic about something they've been told to encourage the adult child to be part of, it just makes you a needy, insecure adult child think, these are my friends. This is wonderful. They're all excited too. We must do this. It's peer pressure in a friendship sense that is produced in such a way that it looks so positive and it looks so loving, and it makes whatever they would normally have not even considered like fun, like a good idea, like something they should try, because everyone agrees with it, everyone wants to do it. And the same seduction process is made if a narcissist is brought in, the friends are used to help the adult child see the narcissist as a wonderful person to go out and date and marry and, you know. And if the relationship falls through, the parent's narcissist will say it's the adult child's fault that they destroyed the relationship, or the person was a narcissist and no one knew, or a bad person. It always works out so the parents come out innocent. Any other narcissists that are brought in to help the adult child are all innocent, are made out to be all innocent. And the only real person I think you have to find through the whole thing is if they married a narcissist but it fell through, everyone would discuss the narcissist as a bad person, but always, most often, the adult child who might have mental or health issues will always be seen as the one who got it wrong. And the reason for this is to keep the adult child's mental self-belief weak. So it's like it's a form of gaslighting. So as long as they always feel that they failed and that they're weak and that they got it wrong, they will always think low of themselves, think that they're not clever, that they're the one who always makes it up. They're worst enemy, etc., etc. And that stops them from ever figuring out what's going on, and from ever figuring out that their friends, their closest confidants, are actually flying monkeys, and that everything they tell their friends, the friends tell the narcissist, but they have no idea, the adult child. And the friends, they only think they're doing what's needed and what's right to protect and help their friend. So this is how flying monkeys and friendship can be used to seduce a person into becoming or to staying a victim of parent narcissists, therapist narcissists, friendship narcissists, and the like, and maybe even their husband or something, or wife. So there's some things to think about with that. In friendship and flying monkeys are commonly used in narcissism.